What's up, everybody? I'm sitting in the building that I probably spend the most amount of time in outside of my bed. I'm here at Simpsonville Fitness Co, CrossFit Simpsonville, with two of my best friends, Annie and Gordon Lake. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, man.
So we want to do a better job of telling the story of people's real estate transactions, because we're the guide to other people's stories. So I want to turn it over to Gordon and Annie to just talk about, first of all, what is Simpsonville Fitness Company? What is CrossFit Simpsonville? What's the origin story of why fitness?
No, you got that.
Origin story of why fitness.
In the kitchen in January 20.
Yeah, January 2018. Let's see, the Lord told me, hey, you're gonna open a gym. And I was like, okay, no. Told Gordon, laughed in my face. He goes, with what money? Haha. And then fast forward 4 months?
Yeah.
4 or 5 months?
Yep.
In June 2018, we opened a gym. Not at this location, obviously. It was SVL 1.0 is what we like to call it. Just going with what the Lord has told us to do, and it's been crazy.
Yeah, good word for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we followed some direction that you felt like you got from the Lord, and Simpsonville 1.0. Tell us about that building. Tell us about that space, the community that was built, the ups and the downs that has led to Simpsonville 2.0.
I just remember 1.0, we were trying to find a building. And we literally had a very short time, and we thought we found one, and that got turned down. And so we literally went to this old textile warehouse. And Andy and I and some good friends were like, all right, we're gonna pray over this building. If this is what the Lord wants, he's gonna will it. And then like a couple days go by and we get inside the building, about 20 years worth of stuff. So you walk into this building, there's rat poop everywhere. There's just disgusting. And me and Andy are like,
floor to ceiling stacked boxes, textile, like stuff, machine, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like just little paths around the space where the workers would walk through, or come through with their forklift.
And it was just, man, it was a mess. But you know what? We ended up like, we felt the Lord was like, hey, this is where you're gonna be. And we held what we called a vision night. We had 32 members from our prior gym that closed down. We came over, and amongst all the junk, we literally said, hey, we're gonna build a gym here of people who wanna do life together. And we're gonna do it with our own hands. And so for the next, oh Lord.
2 weeks prior to when we absolutely needed a spot. We still didn't really have the keys yet.
Yep.
But I think it was like the next day.
Small details.
Yeah.
Small details. The next day, the owner of the building was like, hey, yeah, let's move forward. Here's the keys, kind of thing.
And then we took really the first couple weeks, and the community came together, and we built out walls. We painted. We literally have pictures of our members painting everything and helping us out. And it was cool because those are our OGs, and we still have a good portion of them here today who really set the groundwork for us. And then really, and Annie can explain, but like it was full steam ahead, just running as fast as we could.
Yeah. And then over time, over those years that we were there, I think we started off with 4,500 square feet. And then we started to grow. We were like, oh, I think we need a little bit more. And so we would add more, clean it out, all that stuff. And then we need a little bit more, and a little bit more. So by the time we were kind of like, okay, this is our space, I think we had just under 7,000 square feet of space, but we started with 4,500. And it was just cleaning out a little at a time and trying to organize and make it look as nice as we could. But yeah, so it's definitely been crazy.
As nice as a textile warehouse from the 1990s could look.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you took the need for more space. Was it further validation of what you felt like the Lord's calling was on that, or did you feel like it was blind and dumb luck, or a combination of provision? Walk me through the kind of the mindset of the early success as you needed more space and more members came through.
So I remember the first couple of years, like we were hovering around like 75 members, which is that's not bad at all, honestly, in this kind of space. And then post-COVID, there was a huge boom. I think we doubled in a year. And I remember we went on a trip to Colorado, and I remember the Lord vividly being like, hey, you're gonna create this mural that's gonna be like SVL exists to empower individuals to become the best version of themselves. And we went to Colorado, and we came back, and this person drew this beautiful mural. And I walked in, I said, oh man, this is it. And like that set the tone, and we grew by leaps and bounds. And I remember like everyone took pictures in front of that mural. And so like there was probably some blind luck, but I think really it was the Lord kept giving us visions of like, build this out, do this. And I'd come to her, she'd come to me, she's like, I think we should do this. I'm like, are you sure? I don't know. And then we would do it, and then you'd see the affirmation months and years later. Like, we took all the textile stuff out, all of it. We paid for it ourselves, we did it ourselves, and like, I'm like, I don't know why we need this space, but like, we're gonna need this space. And then we had a big boom of kids. All of our members started having kids, and next thing you know, our whole kids space is over here, and you're kind of like, okay. He just had affirmations that we just didn't know in the moment. It was just the obedience of being like, hey, all right, this is what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You said Simpsonville 1.0. You didn't even have the keys yet, but you had vision and people that bought in. So it seems like the community kind of believes in what the mission of it is. So, and there's some blind faith that goes into that. So how did that transition? Because it's a similar theme. I don't want to get too far ahead, but it's a similar theme from SVL 1.0 to 2.0 of a little bit of like blind faith. So when was the turning point where you decided we need more space? We need our building of our own?
I would say 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years ago. Really, from day one, we were like, we kind of always had in the back of our mind, it would be cool to have our own building.
I think it's overwhelming. So like, we don't come from people who've owned their own buildings. Like, we had no idea how to even do that day. And I remember like, it was post-COVID when, we were literally told, hey, you got to shut down. I remember looking at Annie like, if we owned our own building, we wouldn't have to do this.
Yeah.
And then there was an honest moment where we were like, our current landlord sold the building, and the new landlord wanted to like increase our rent 4 times. And essentially, that wasn't financially feasible for us. So, Annie and I were like,
and that was 2 years ago.
Annie were like, hey, we have some options here. We're going to close this business, which wrecked us because we didn't feel that.
Yeah.
And then the other side was like, okay, I don't know if we know how to own a building. Dude, I have no idea about that. And then when you started to walk us through it, which number one helped with the anxiety, because in my mind, I thought only like super rich people did real estate. But then once we were like, oh my God, we can own it, that for us, for the community's sake, I don't think the community ever understood like emotional moment. How close we were to like closing. None of this would have been here. And so literally, Annie and I would joke like, we took a huge step, a huge risk.
Yeah.
Wasn't for us. We wanted everyone to have a space.
Yeah.
So that's why we like, you know what, let's do it. Like, let's see what happens. And talking to you and the Lord aligning things. And then when, dude, I remember we came here, they were still moving stuff out. And we're like, oh my God, we own a building.
This is ours.
Yeah, and then you go into, oh my God, what are we gonna do next? Yeah, and so, but really low, you say is like, it wasn't for us, man, and we knew that. Yeah. We knew the risk we took was not to say, cool, we own a building. It was to say, we have created a space where lives can change. And we see it. We see people have their kiddos. We see people get together and get married. We see people go from death to life. We see people break bonds of addiction. We see so much happening in here. And so we knew when we found 2.0, we're like, it's only gonna get better.
Yeah. There was a moment when we worked together where it was an oh crap moment. It was, this is a lot of money, this is a huge investment. Walk us through the oh crap moment and what got you through that. I know that you mentioned that my voice memo had a lot to do with that, but what was the common theme behind it? Because this is a community where fitness happens and not the other way around. I believe that the Lord calls strong people to do big things for communities. And that's exactly what I saw in y'all. So walk us through the oh crap moment. And because that was a pivotal moment.
I don't think I ever heard your oh crap moment. What was your oh crap moment?
It was with yours. Like, it's kind of simultaneous. Because we were talking about the financial side of it and looking at the money and like, oh my gosh, this is how much it's going to be every month. Oh my gosh, what if we lose everything? Oh my gosh. And then that was the thing. And then hearing Adam's voice memo he sent us, which is probably clocked in about 5-minute voice memo.
Yeah, it was a long one.
It was a long one. We both kind of took a deep breath like, okay, that helps ease my anxiety a little bit. Because it was, a week from actually like
we literally had a week,
signing the papers. It was like a week, and that's when we were like freaked out. Like, I don't know if we can do this kind of thing.
Well, and like as a husband, you're a husband watching this, as a husband, you want to like take the lead and be the strong one. And it's like, I did all the math. I'm like, okay, well, our numbers, our mortgage should be this, will be okay. Little did I know I wasn't a mathematician in mortgage. And so I'm literally talking to the girl who's helping us out, she's phenomenal. And I just text her, like, hey, I just ran some numbers. What's our mortgage again? And the number she gave me was about $5,000 higher. And I literally just remember looking at Annie, I was like, and my stomach sank. I was like, I don't know how we're gonna do this. We're gonna go broke. And I just remember at that time I looked, I was like, hey, I just need to go like chill. And so I remember I went and listened to some praise and worship music, and I texted you, and I said, hey dude, I was just very uncertain. You just told me, hey, this building is not just for you. This building is to build a community. And then what really stuck out was this building is to help other business owners grow so we can make a greater impact. And when you said that, I was just like, you know what? This goes so much further beyond us. And I felt like the Lord really spoke through you to give us affirmation because after that, we literally reached out to so many people in our circle and we said, hey, we have 1 week to move forward or not. And we want to know this is from the Lord. And literally there was such a peace after that. And we're like, you're going to make a way. And we just knew. And then like the tenants came in and like, we just knew, but I just still remember having this huge freak out moment and just knowing that the Lord ordained you to be a part of this process. Because honestly, like we were super lost going into this, then you just kind of helped guide us. And I'll tell people to this day, like just the words you spoke just helped give us affirmation, like this is what we're supposed to do.
There's an adage out there that fortune favors the bold. What does it look like for y'all in all aspects of things, from being bold, opening Simpsonville 2.0, with the growth, with all the great things that have happened since then?
I think like when you do something of this caliber, right? And like walking through the process, there was very much like a refinement of it. Like, so you never think in your mind, oh, I can go own a building. Well, then we had to renovate the whole building. And so then you renovate the whole building and Annie and I are like, and Bill, we're designing and we're planning and you're like, you're doing things you never thought. And then once you do it, you're like, I could do that again.
Yeah.
And so now like you talk about being bold. So now we're looking at plans to like, we're building a playground for the kids. We're expanding the back. We're looking into other investments. And then you just kind of get this mindset of like, we want to create spaces where life happens. That's really it. Like, it's not about having real estate. It's not about doing commercial developments. It's can we create spaces where people can come be a part of it and do life? And there is a bold factor, but I think once you do it, you go, in the moment, it was hard. It was stressful to the max. And then you get after it and you're like, man, look how much I learned. Look how much we are now prepared to do something else.
Yeah.
Hard work lives here, right?
It's right on the wall, baby.
Yeah, that's one of their things. And it was just such an honor working with you guys because, you know, every morning that I show up at 6:30, they're kicking me in the mouth with the workouts, and I live for it. It's wonderful. But for me to be able to kind of change hats with them and to be a guide through the process meant the world to me. And that's what the whole community aspect is. And we don't have to be all things to all people at all times. We lean on each other's expertise, we have each other's back, and beautiful things come from that.
What I love too was like you were through the whole process with us. So like the first day, remember we came and walked in here and saw it, and we were just kind of like looking like, okay, I can picture this. And then through the renovation process, you were here. And so to me, it's really cool that you've seen this from day one, where anyone who knew who's come here, they had no idea what this was. Yeah. You've seen it through the whole process. So I'm sure there's some ownership on your part where like, you feel part of your heart here. Yeah. We're like, hey, I remember the bathrooms were all the way in the back, and I remember how ugly this thing looked. And so to me, it's really cool to see how it's come full circle of like, I mean, your name's on our drink cooler over there, but like, it's just really encouraging to me to say, man, Adam's heart is in this because he's a part of this building.
Yeah. I think that's why we get along so well. It's like we're all marketplace. It's all marketplace ministry, whether you are in the fitness space or in the real estate space. And so I just wanted to give you guys an opportunity to tell your story about the impact of what this community is. If you want elite level fitness, please come here, please come join us. But also too, there's a deeper meaning just behind it's way deeper than fitness. And again, we want to do a better job of telling, helping tell our clients and our friends' story through the power of real estate. One of the things that we connected on is that our mission statement is that we exist so that all people have the opportunity to build wealth, health, and happiness through the power of real estate. And that health component, it goes hand in hand with what you guys do, which is why I think it's such a cool partnership. So
it's cool too, like when you take a step back, like, you know, I like to see how the Lord has ordained you in certain areas of life for people, which has been really cool, right? I never thought, like when I first met you, by the way, this guy was an athlete when you first met him, came over a couple times, dropped in, athlete, everybody. But like when I first met you, like to where we are now, but like truly feel like the Lord has ordained you to be in circles and situations with people because you're called to walk them through it. The Lord has given you words to say and what to do, and we are a part of that. And because of that, because of your stewardship, like we're able to have this and to provide to the community.
Love that. I don't know if it could be said better than that.
He was an athlete. Was.
I am.
Sorry, Mick, am.